5 ancient techniques instantly frees you from low vibration patterns. The energy we carry shapes the reality we experience. Every thought, every emotion, every action sends out a vibration that attracts similar energy back to us. But what happens when we find ourselves stuck in a cycle of low vibrational patterns, feeling drained, uninspired, or even trapped in negativity? Most people assume that escaping these patterns requires something external, a change in circumstances, a shift in luck, a miracle. But the truth is, the power to break free has always been within us. And the ancients knew this. For thousands of years, enlightened beings, mystics and spiritual masters have passed down techniques designed to instantly shift energy, to free the soul from heaviness, and to restore the natural state of abundance, clarity, and power. But the question is, are we truly ready to use them? Imagine waking up one morning feeling completely weightless, as if every burden that once held you down had dissolved overnight. Imagine moving through your day with an unshakable sense of peace, as if no external force had the power to disturb your inner state. Imagine attracting exactly what you need, not through force or struggle, but simply because your vibration effortlessly calls it into your life. This is not fantasy. This is what happens when you master your energy. And the key to mastery is understanding that your vibration is not a fixed state, it is something you can shift at any moment. The problem is, most people don't realize how much control they actually have. They think they are victims of their circumstances, when in reality they are victims of their unconscious habits.
Click subscribe to this channel to get more profound spiritual lesson.
Low vibration patterns do not appear out of nowhere. They are built, layer by layer, through repeated thoughts, emotions, and behaviors that reinforce them over time. A single negative thought may seem harmless, but when repeated daily, it becomes a belief. A small feeling of doubt may seem insignificant, but when left unchecked, it becomes a constant state of fear. And once these patterns become ingrained, they begin to dictate reality, not because the universe is punishing you, but because the universe is responding to the energy you are emitting. This is why most people feel stuck. They are unknowingly feeding the very energy they are trying to escape. But the ancient masters discovered something revolutionary. Consciousness alone has the power to break any cycle. The moment you become aware of a low vibrational pattern, you weaken its hold over you. And when you apply specific techniques designed to shift energy instantly, you free yourself from patterns that may have been controlling you for years. These techniques are not complicated. They do not require years of study or extreme discipline. They only require one thing: your willingness to let go of what no longer serves you. But this is where most people struggle, because letting go is not just an action, it is an identity shift. To release a low vibration pattern, you must be willing to release the version of yourself that is attached to it. And this is where the true test begins. So, let me ask you, what are you willing to let go of? What thoughts, what beliefs, what emotional states have become so familiar to you that you mistake them for who you are? What if the only thing standing between you and your highest vibration is your attachment to the very patterns that drain you? And if that is true, can you see how simple the solution actually is? Not easy, but simple. Because the moment you decide, truly decide, that you are done with the energy that no longer aligns with you, you have already begun the process of breaking free. The techniques we are about to explore are merely tools to accelerate what your soul has already chosen. But before we go any deeper, I want you to sit with one question. If you could wake up tomorrow completely free of every low vibrational pattern that has ever held you back, who would you be? What would your life look like? How would your energy feel? And more importantly, why are you not already living that reality? Because the truth is, the only thing separating you from that version of yourself is a single choice. A choice to shift, to release, to step into the energy that has been waiting for you all along. The hidden codes of energy, how ancient techniques unlock your true frequency. Everything in this universe operates on frequency. The thoughts you think, the emotions you feel, the very essence of your being emits a vibration that interacts with the unseen forces around you. Whether you realize it or not, you are constantly transmitting and receiving energy, shaping your reality moment by moment. But here's the secret: the ancient masters understood your frequency is not fixed. It is fluid, dynamic, and completely within your control. The reason so many people feel stuck in low vibrational patterns is not because they are incapable of change, but because they have forgotten how to shift their energy at will. They have been conditioned to believe that their emotions control them, rather than the other way around. But the truth is, the moment you reclaim your power over your vibration, you reclaim your power over your life. Imagine for a moment that your energy is like a musical instrument. When it is in tune, everything flows effortlessly. You feel light, creative, empowered. Opportunities appear, synchronicities unfold, and life moves with a sense of ease and magic. But when your instrument falls out of tune, when your frequency is low, everything feels off. You struggle, you feel disconnected, and no matter how hard you try, things just don't seem to align. But here's where it gets interesting. Just like a musician can tune their instrument, you can tune your energy. And the techniques the ancients passed down are nothing more than keys designed to help you instantly shift out of low vibrations and re-enter a state of flow, clarity, and power. The first and most fundamental technique is breathwork. It sounds simple, almost too simple, but do not underestimate its power. Your breath is the bridge between the physical and the energetic, the conscious and the unconscious. The way you breathe determines the way energy moves through your body. When you are stuck in a low vibrational state, your breath becomes shallow, restricted. Your body contracts, your mind becomes cloudy, and your energy field weakens. But the moment you take control of your breath, deepening it, expanding it, directing it with intention, you override the patterns that are keeping you trapped. This is why ancient yogis and mystics dedicated their lives to mastering the breath. They understood that something as simple as controlled breathing could alter consciousness, shift emotions, and instantly elevate vibration. But breath is only the beginning. Another technique that has been used for thousands of years to break low vibrational patterns is sound. Every culture, every ancient civilization has understood the power of sound to heal, to transform, to liberate energy that has become stagnant. The universe itself is made of vibration, and sound is the purest form of frequency manipulation. Whether it's the chanting of mantras, the ringing of Tibetan singing bowls, the sacred resonance of ancient instrument sound has the ability to shake loose the density that keeps you trapped in low frequencies. And the most powerful sound of all, your own voice. The words you speak, the way you express yourself, the vibrations you send out into the world, they are shaping your reality in ways you may not even realize. This is why mantras, affirmations, and sacred chants are so effective. They are not just words, they are frequency activators, designed to pull you out of the shadows and back into your highest alignment. Then there is movement. Energy is not meant to remain stagnant. When you feel stuck in a low vibration, it is often because energy in your body has become trapped, unexpressed. The ancients knew this, which is why every spiritual tradition incorporates movement, whether it's the flowing sequences of Tai Chi, the sacred dances of indigenous cultures, or the dynamic postures of yoga. Movement is not just physical, it is energetic. It allows you to release what has accumulated within you, to shake off the density, to reel in your inner and outer worlds. Even something as simple as shaking your body, dancing freely, or walking in nature can instantly shift your state, pulling you out of heaviness and back into fluidity. But there is one technique that is perhaps the most powerful of all intention. The mind is the ultimate architect of reality, and the energy you hold in your conscious awareness shapes everything you experience. The ancients understood that where attention goes, energy flows. This is why rituals, prayers, and focused visualization have been practiced for millennia. They are not mere traditions, they are tools for directing energy with precision. When you set an intention, when you decide with absolute certainty that you are done with a low vibrational pattern, you ignite an internal shift that begins to rewrite your energetic blueprint. The problem is, most people do not set intentions with clarity. They say they want to change, but they hold on to doubt. They say they want to elevate, but they secretly fear what that elevation might require of them. But the chosen ones, the masters of energy, understand that true transformation is a decision, a single, unwavering decision to no longer entertain the frequencies that drain them. So, let me ask you, how often do you consciously tune your own energy? How often do you breathe with awareness, use your voice with intention, move your body to release what no longer serves you? How often do you take command of your frequency rather than allowing it to be dictated by external forces? Because here's the truth: low vibration patterns do not disappear on their own. They must be disrupted. They must be replaced. They must be consciously shifted by you. And the only question that remains is, are you ready to step into that power? The unseen battle: how to break free from the energetic chains holding you back. Most people go through life unaware of the silent war being waged within them. Every day, without realizing it, they are pulled between two forces: their highest potential and the weight of their past conditioning. The mind, the body, and the energetic field are constantly absorbing and emitting frequencies, picking up on external influences, memories, and deeply ingrained patterns. But here's the truth that few people recognize: the low vibrational states you experience are not random. They are not just moods, nor are they simply the result of circumstances. They are programmed patterns, reinforced over time, keeping you locked in cycles of limitation, doubt, and stagnation. I think about it: how often do you find yourself falling into the same emotional loops, the same reactions, the same struggles? It's as if there's an invisible force keeping you tethered to a version of yourself that you've outgrown. And in a way, there is. Every thought you repeat, every emotion you dwell in, every belief you hold onto creates a groove in your energetic field. The more you engage with a particular vibration, the stronger its pull becomes. This is why breaking free from low vibrational patterns is not just about thinking positively, it's about disrupting the very mechanisms that keep you stuck. The ancients understood this deeply. They knew that the key to liberation was not in resisting these patterns, but in consciously reprogramming them. And the way they did this was through ritual. Not ritual in the sense of religious ceremony, but ritual in the sense of intentional energy shifting. Every action, every movement, every breath taken with awareness becomes a ritual, a deliberate act of altering one's state of being. And this is where most people fail. They try to change their energy without changing their habits. They want to feel lighter, freer, more empowered, but they continue to engage in the same routines, the same thought processes, the same environments that reinforce their low vibration. The reality is, if you want to break free, you must be willing to disrupt everything that no longer aligns with your highest self. One of the most powerful techniques for doing this is purification. Every spiritual tradition has some form of purification practice, whether it's fasting, bathing in sacred waters, smudging with herbs, or even simply decluttering one's physical space. Why? Because energy accumulates. Just as dirt builds up on the physical body, stagnant energy builds up in the mind and in the aura. And if it is not consciously cleared, it begins to weigh you down, making it almost impossible to elevate your frequency. The simplest way to begin this process is by purifying your environment. Your surroundings hold energy, and if you are constantly immersed in clutter, chaos, or spaces that do not reflect the vibration you wish to embody, you will struggle to maintain a high frequency. But purification is not just external, it is internal. One of the fastest ways to shift your vibration is to be mindful of what you consume, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally. Every piece of content you engage with, every conversation you have, every piece of information you allow into your mind is shaping your frequency. The question is, are you consuming energy that uplifts you or energy that drains you? The ancient masters were extremely selective about what they allowed into their field. They understood that the mind is like a garden, and whatever you plant in it will grow. This is why they surrounded themselves with wisdom, with sacred teachings, with silence when necessary. They knew that the easiest way to free oneself from low vibrational patterns was to stop feeding them. And yet, there is one more aspect to breaking free that is perhaps the most difficult detachment. The reason low vibrational energies have power over you is not because they are stronger than you, but because you are attached to them. Whether consciously or unconsciously, there is a part of you that identifies with the struggle, the pain, the limitation. And this is where the real work begins, because to truly elevate, you must be willing to let go not just of external situations, but of the internal identities that keep you vibrating at a lower level. Who are you when you are no longer attached to your fears? Who are you when you are no longer defined by your past? Who are you when you stop telling yourself the same limiting stories? This is the final test, because breaking free is not just about escaping something, it is about stepping into something greater. And most people fear that step. They fear the unknown, the vastness of their own potential, the responsibility that comes with true freedom. But the masters knew something most people don't. Staying in a low vibration is far more painful than the temporary discomfort of transformation. And once you take that step, once you fully commit to rising above the patterns that have held you back, you will realize that the chains were never real to begin with. The ultimate shift, how to permanently elevate your vibration and step into your highest reality. There comes a moment in every seeker's journey when they realize that freedom is not something they must find, it is something they must remember. The chains that once felt so heavy, the patterns that seemed unbreakable, the emotions that felt inescapable, none of them were ever truly holding them back. They only existed because they were believed in, reinforced, and unconsciously invited to stay. The truth is, low vibrational patterns are not enemies to be fought. They are simply echoes of an old frequency, remnants of a past self that no longer aligns with who you are becoming. And the moment you stop identifying with them, the moment you stop feeding them with your focus and energy, they begin to dissolve. But here is where most people struggle. They experience temporary shifts, moments of clarity, flashes of high vibration, but then, inevitably, they fall back into old patterns. Why? Because transformation is not about a single breakthrough. It is about consistent embodiment. It is not enough to experience a moment of elevation. You must integrate that elevation into your daily existence. You must become it. This is the difference between those who temporarily escape low vibrations and those who permanently transcend them. The ones who truly rise are the ones who make high-frequency living their default state, not just something they visit when they feel inspired. So, how do you make this shift permanent? How do you ensure that you never fall back into the energetic traps that once drained you? The answer is commitment. The ancient masters understood that energy is like momentum. Whatever you feed grows stronger. If you continuously choose high vibrations, they eventually become your natural state. But this requires discipline, not in the rigid, forced sense, but in the sense of unwavering devotion to your highest self. It means being ruthless in what you allow into your field. It means being intentional with your thoughts, your emotions, your actions. It means no longer entertaining anything that pulls you back into old, lower frequencies, no matter how familiar or tempting they may seem. One of the most effective ways to solidify this shift is to cultivate a daily practice that realigns you with your highest vibration. This is not about rigid routines, it is about anchoring yourself in energies that uplift and expand you. Whether it's meditation, breathwork, movement, sound healing, or simply surrounding yourself with high-frequency environments, what matters is consistency. The more you immerse yourself in elevated states, the more they become your new normal. The problem is that most people only engage in these practices when they feel low, using them as a temporary fix rather than a way of life. But the true masters never wait until they are struggling to reel in their energy. They maintain their frequency at all times, ensuring that they never collapse back into the vibrations they have outgrown. Another key to permanent transformation is mastery over emotional alchemy. Many people believe that to live in a high vibration means to never experience negative emotions. This is a misconception. The goal is not to suppress or deny emotions, but to transmute them. Every emotion, no matter how heavy, carries energy, and energy can be redirected. The ancient masters did not fear sadness, anger, or fear. They understood them as raw forces that could be transformed into clarity, power, and wisdom. The difference between those who remain stuck in low vibrations and those who rise above them is not the absence of difficult emotions, but the ability to navigate them without attachment. When you learn to observe emotions without identifying with them, when you learn to channel them rather than be consumed by them, you gain complete sovereignty over your energy. But perhaps the most powerful shift of all is identity transformation. You cannot step into a high vibrational life while still identifying as the version of yourself that was trapped in low frequencies. This is where many people unknowingly sabotage their own elevation. They do the inner work, they practice the techniques, they momentarily feel lighter, but deep down they still see themselves as the person who struggles, who suffers, who is weighed down by the past. And as long as they hold on to that identity, their energy will always return to match it. This is why true transformation requires not just a change in habits, but a complete reinvention of self. You must decide fully, completely, without hesitation that you are no longer the person who entertains low vibrations. You must embody the energy of your highest self before you see the external proof of it. And this is where faith comes in. The universe does not respond to what you want, it responds to what you are. When you begin living as if you are already free, already elevated, already in alignment, the external reality has no choice but to rearrange itself to match your new frequency. And so, the final question remains, are you truly ready to let go? Not just of external circumstances, but of the internal identity that has kept you bound to low vibrations? Are you willing to release the version of yourself that struggles, that doubts, that clings to the familiar even when it no longer serves you? Because the truth is, your highest vibration is not something you need to chase. It is something you need to allow. It has always been there, waiting for you to step into it. The only thing standing in the way is your attachment to the old. But the moment you decide fully, without hesitation, that you are done with anything that lowers your energy, you will feel the shift instantly. And once you taste that level of freedom, you will never go back. Because once you realize how powerful you truly are, how limitless your energy can be, how effortlessly life flows when you are in alignment, you will never again settle for anything less.